Hello and welcome to the Untitled Steven Universe thing. That's now its title. Untitled Steven Universe thing. That is officially what I'm calling it. That's that. We have a title, Chris.
It's not a good title. We shouldn't call it that.
Well then, honestly, we are 10 episodes in. We either come up with a title now or we give up. Like, how have we not got a title 10 episodes in?
I still don't see what's wrong with Steven Universe.
I mean, the question isn't what's wrong with it, more what's right with it, Chris.
That's true. Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
Something is just vibrating. I don't know what that is. Like there's
Right.
water on or something. I think it's Jess has just come in and turned the light on, and I think you can hear the light. That's really weird.
I'm sure the listeners probably can't hear that.
No, but it's just weird. Carry on.
Yeah. Let's do it. So this week we watched Steven's Lion, an episode in which Steven and the gems go out to the desert to capture one of these sort of gems that's been causing havoc in the world. You may, at this point, Chris, you may have noticed a pattern in that many of the things they come across, there's a gem at its centre that they then sort of, as it was phrased this week, bubble. And they find a gem that's basically... It seems its purpose originally seems to have been to build some sort of structure for the gems, but it's now old and just doing all sorts of crazy stuff with that, with the sand. So for the safety of the universe, well, for the world, for the safety of the world, they're just sort of, gonna put it away, hide it, do what they got to do with it. So they're gonna bubble it. The only problem is Amethyst forgets to do so, and they just bring it back. The other main part of the story, obviously, being Steven finds a lion. Pink lion, befriends it. It follows him back. For a minute, he thinks maybe the lion is actually just come back for the gem we previously mentioned that controls sand. But it actually turns out he's protecting Steven. He's looking after his buddy. So in the end, Steven gets to keep the lion, and he has a lion now. So that's
the vibrating's gone one, so that's good because it was annoying me and freaking me out. Number two. I don't know why you said that's part of the story. The lion, Steven gets a lion is this story.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was making fun of myself for not previously mentioning that. It was me being sarcastic because I'd sort of told the story of the gem and the sand rather than the actual story of the episode. Steven and the lion is pretty much it's called Steven's Lion. I buried the lead.
I think that it's weird because this is the first episode, and I'm not saying this hasn't actually happened before, but as we know, it's not something I'm big on, so I wouldn't necessarily notice it happening before. This is the first episode that I was like, fucking hell, the animation is good. Like, the animation as the city was being rebuilt and him and the lion and him on his own was trying to grab the cushion gem thing. That was good. Like, that was some good animation. I was impressed.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, and that's what's funny is I remember when I first watched this, spotting that as well and being like, wow, that is beautiful art design, very well animated. Because they shift the colors once he goes inside the sandstorm, and it creates this really surreal effect, but it just looks great. And then the action itself, where the lion is using its roar to knock down these big sand walls and pillars and stuff, really cool. Yeah. You're absolutely right. In fact, so much so that I made note of it when I did my video for the YouTube channel, which was why you should be watching Steven Universe. Which if you haven't seen that already, feel free. Although it sounds like I guess at this point I'd be preaching to the converted in terms of if anyone listening to this, you probably already like Steven Universe.
I don't remember you doing that video, but my bad.
I did a video called "Why You Should Be Watching Steven Universe," and it's it's like a 5-10 minute video, and I even do a very bad cover of the theme song of Steven Universe at the end of it, which I can now play a lot better because that was like a few weeks or maybe even just a month after I got and started to learn.
That was early ukulele.
Very early, like the first thing I learned on it was the theme to Steven Universe, pretty much. I can now play it a lot better. That was me struggling to be able to even strum the thing. So yeah, you can find that on the YouTube channel. Because what happened was I did a top 5 animated shows list, and then discovered Steven Universe.
Oh yeah, I
realized.
remember now.
And then I felt really bad I hadn't included it, so I did a very specific video called "Why You Should Be Watching Steven Universe." I mean, to be fair, we did just under 100 videos for that YouTube channel, so it's not surprising you didn't notice.
So back to the episode. This is what the people have come to Steven Universe for. I was really distracted during the buzzing, so I don't know if you agreed that was the title, but or if you shat on it. But there we go. That's what I'm calling it. Did you agree that was the title?
No, I said we need a title. We desperately.
What's wrong
need
with Steven Universe?
Well, I said, what's right with it? That's my question. You tell me what's right with it.
Anyway, the people come here for analysis, so I'm giving some. I thought the only part of this episode that I didn't gel with, and I genuinely I like the episode. It was good. It was an interesting, unique monster. It was an interesting dilemma. Like lions, cool. It's all right. It was good stuff. Here's what I didn't like. Right. So Steven talks to the lion as if it's like a relationship breaking up. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's cute. That's funny. Yeah, it's cute and funny once. Don't do it loads throughout the episode. Gets a bit. I'm saying it gets a bit weird. I think it gets a bit weird. That element. It's weird.
Fair enough. Right.
Do you think it gets a bit weird?
No, I mean, they kept playing it for comedy for me. I didn't feel it get weird, but I can see how someone might find it. I'm getting that impression. I think they did it in enough different ways. Like one of my favourites was when the lion first shows back up, and he tries to play all the games with it. So he's throwing the ball at it, and it's just hitting it in the face. And he's like, the lion's at the bottom of like a cliff, and he's like, I'm gonna jump, catch me, lion, and like the lion's just looking the other way, like not like the joke there to me is like this lion is very much like just a cat, like as uninterested in Steven as a cat would be in its owner, and I kind of found that adorable, and I think if you don't have Steven talking to the lion like that the whole way through the episode, then the bit where he does that at the beginning is even more out of place.
Maybe. I thought for me, the funny was that cafe scene, which I thought was probably the most consistently funny scene I've experienced. And the most, like, near to adult humour I've experienced. Not in subject matter, but in tone. Like, I'm eating for two. You're pregnant. Steven's pregnant. I bet you're not even pregnant. And, like, well, if you'd have read my blog, like, it just really...
Do you remember meeting that character before, by the way? I was interested in whether you'd noticed this.
No, I didn't know.
The guy that has the blog. No. So basically, in one of the earlier episodes, when Steven... In fact, in one of your favourite episodes, Chris, Catfingers, when he goes to the place to get the fry bits, the fryman's son is that blog guy. Ronaldo is... He works at the chip shop. He's one of the two sons of the guy that makes fries. There's obviously the little one, Petey, who we met in Frybo, and he's got an older son who works properly in the kitchen. And when Steven shows him the cat fingers, he talks about his blog then, Keep Beach City Weird. So what I liked about that is it's like they're slowly building a recurring cast of characters that even though you're not necessarily noticing you're seeing them multiple times, they're cropping up again and again. So like obviously you've got Lars and Sadie who work at the donut shop. We've now met 3 members of the family that work at the place that sells chips. Now we've obviously met the family that work at the pizza place, Kiki and her dad. And these are all characters that ultimately come back. And now we've also met Onion again. Onion is the short guy that he asks when he comes outside, like, you know, did you see my lion? But if you remember, Onion is in the Bubble Buddies episode, Onion's the character who shoots a harpoon at their bubble.
Can we please just go one episode without mentioning cat fingers? I just want us to stop bringing it up. Yes, I remember Onion. Yes, the harpoon thing was funny, but I'd like us to stop talking about cat fingers. And I've genuinely sat here with an angry-looking face for your entire speech.
My point was, I'm talking about the show's ability to build a recurring cast in the background subtly by just having them appear in these little one-off scenes, and you think you'll never see them again, but they're actually consistent.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's awesome. And
did you remember that he was the son of the guy who does fries in Catfingers?
What the fuck did I just say? Why? What did I just say, Dan?
Answer the question, Chris.
I remembered. No, I didn't realise it was him. I didn't realise it was Fryboy's son. but I liked it. I thought it was really funny. But partly because he didn't make me laugh as much in that episode, because I fucking wanted the world to swallow me up in that episode. So I think I just thought he was funnier here, which is probably why I noticed him more. But just that whole scene I thought was really genuinely funny.
The payoff of "I bet you're not even pregnant" is brilliant.
Really good. Really, really, really solid.
And also, I quite like the "you lying."
But I can't. But what is weird about it is he didn't. I mean, he literally just gets a line. No one really learns anything. No one really goes through any growth or life lessons. He literally that is enjoyable, but it's weird. Like, we've had episodes are usually like, this is the point of the episode. This is what Steven's learned. This is what they've learned about Steven. This is literally Steven gets a line.
Yeah, see, it's funny because the episode has an arc that resolves within itself rather than having any hints at an overall thing. Because obviously the arc of the episode is that Steven initially assumes that the lion is his friend, and then he, feels betrayed because he feels like the lion really just wants that gem, and then it turns out the lion is his friend, at least to a certain extent.
Yeah. So I want the lion to become a thing now. Not too much, like fucking. I don't want every episode to have a lion in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the lion needs to become a thing to justify that. Because then it's like, you watch this episode and you're like, oh, this is when we meet lion, and that's fine. That's enough.
And I'll be honest with you, and this is arguably spoiler territory, but that lion becomes a semi-regular fixture. He's not hopefully like you were hoping for. He's occasionally in it, but not every week.
Yeah, that's good. That's golden. That's fine. Partly because
I like the character. I like that Steven just has a pet. And I also love that line when he's like, when I thought about getting a pet, I thought about getting maybe a goldfish or a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's good. And it's really good. And I'm happy for him to have a pet. I really like the lion character, but I think you can't have him in it every week because there'd be an element of, if they were running away from something, why don't they just hop on the line? Like,
yes.
It's too much of a potential fail-safe.
That's fair. I mean, it's funny. There's an episode that comes. I think it's 7 episodes from now called Lion 2, the movie. So there is another lion-based episode in about 7.
That's awesome.
And I honestly can't confirm because I can't remember 100% if he appears between now and then. But if he does, he doesn't have a major role.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's funny though because like there's a thing on the internet called So This Is Basically. And it's basically this guy that runs down TV shows and what they're about. And he goes, Steven Universe keeps its mysteries by having the main character, Steven, ask no questions that a normal human would ask. such as what happened with my mom? And where did this lion come from?
That's good.
That's quite funny.
I never thought of it that way, but he's bang on, like...
Yeah. I mean,
although
Steven
the mum
literally
thing,
asks...
you kind of assume he knows. That's why I just assumed it's not coming up.
No, he. I mean, I couldn't remember what the actual question was. I just sort of, I can't, the lion thing is what the guy says in the video. I think he has another example for the other question. But yeah, that's relatively clear. But like, such as where does this lion come from? It's like, actually, why does he not immediately go, where the fuck is this from? But yeah, I think generally speaking, a charming, if kind of ineffectual episode. Then is that where we're landing? Like, enjoyable, funny, kind of charming, but like ultimately you're not getting anything out of it in terms of the larger picture.
But knowing the lion comes back, that's fine. We don't need some episodes just introduce characters. That's fine. Yeah, I don't need more. Like I wouldn't want that next week, and I noticed it, but this is the one that introduces the lion. Fine.
Yeah. Something I was going to say earlier, and we got distracted. The reason I brought up my video, Steve, is because I chose that clip specifically, this bit you were talking about towards the end with the great animation, for that video when I was putting clips together for it, because it is such a brilliantly drawn piece of the show from both
really
a
good
design perspective and animation perspective. And I like the way they animate Lion just full stop in the whole episode, not just particular that scene. He does very much move and feel like a cat.
Yeah, definitely.
When he initially shows up and he looks all angry and he just plonks himself down on the ground to just lie down, but out of nowhere just drops to the ground. My cat does that literally every
cat-like.
day.
It's cool.
It was remarkably cat-like. So yeah, and that again, they've just got his indifference just right, perfect. Like, he doesn't care about anything. That's pretty much what lions do. Sorry, cats do, I should say.
Cool.
I don't own a lion, just to clarify.
Which is a shame. You'd look good with a lion.
It's a shame. Well, yeah, a pink lion particularly as well.
So, a good.
Also, can I?
No, you
Go on.
No, I was going to sum up, so that's
I
pointless.
was just going to reference the other joke. I was just going to reference the other joke in the episode where it was like, "Oh man, this is like the lion's invisible too."
Yeah.
Oh, he's pink. How can he be pink if he's invisible?
Which is cool because you are like, well, maybe he is invisible to anyone that's not a gem. Like that could be a cool thing. But and then Stephen goes out, and you're like, oh no, he's fucked off.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, go on. I'll let you wrap up then. I'm excited to hear what you were going to say to wrap up.
Just to reiterate what you said, a charming, fun episode. Brought in a new character. And provided some incredible animation and some funny stuff. So, what more can you want?
Yeah, wins all round.
Yeah,
victory. Cool. Okay, well we'll leave it there. Next week we're talking about an episode called Arcade Mania. It's episode 11. What we calling this then? Steven Universe?
Nah, not if you don't like it.
I tell you what. Here's a promise. Episode 11, we're going to have a title.
Boom.
We'll think over it, we'll have a title.
How about
so when I introduce it, it'll be Hello
Universe.
And Welcome To, and you'll hear the title. What's amazing is I'm building that up, but we haven't released any of these yet. So if we come up with a title between now and episode 11, that title will just be on all the episodes where we're talking about it not having a title. So these people will be literally hearing us announce it 11 episodes in, despite knowing it for 11 weeks.
Waiting for it.
Wow. It's the moment. 11 is when we'll know.
Cool.
It's when we'll know. That's the payoff. All right, cool. So that's everything for this week. We'll speak to you then when we watch Arcade Mania.